Hi guys. Okay, so I just want to quickly get through market tactics with you guys. Seeing that we've got a long going, seeing that we're maybe breaking trend and looking at the various time frames. So I'm going to start off with the weekly real quick because I didn't do it with you guys this week yet. So I'm just going to switch everything on and we're going to look at this again. Okay, so weekly time frame is bullish for me. The only big thing is that the higher high has been, we've basically engulfed this candle. The important thing is that weekly closes now should not be lower than the previous weekly close. So I'll remain bullish and I will, almost play this, but the important thing for me on the weekly is that we should not do that. So let's quickly update this and weekly closes to remain higher than the previous weeks. Okay, I think I did something wrong there. Okay, right. Okay, so that's the big thing from the weekly. So as long as that happens, this gives potential a reversal, and yes, there's still room for maybe an 86. But for now, I think that is the critical thing for me going forward with this analysis. This line is something to forget now. I think that's irrelevant, that line, and those lines are irrelevant as well. So from a bigger weekly point of view, what do we have? We do have divergence though, but in a volume sense. But also what we do have is harmony within these weeks. Low movement, low volume. So I'm happy with where we're at. This candle progression, the set of candles, looks to me more like something there as opposed to something that is looking like a reversal. Okay. And the differences is, like I said, as long as we stay above it, we're good. So when you have massive pumps like this, the important key is as soon as you start closing below it, weekly below it, it's no longer there. The momentum is gone. We're going to reverse. But if we stay above it, there's more to come. So time will tell whether this is going to be bullish. I mean, that's the big hardship of trading is you're never going to know. There's nothing I can analyze to say that I can guarantee the outcome though. So as long as that happens, as long as we close, we're golden. So in 5 days, 8 hours, we'll know. Simple as that. Okay. Daily time frame for now is going to be very similar to what the weekly has. We've basically now, from a measured move point of view, made a high. And as we know, if I were to look for more of a retrace, 50% of the move, which means if this current long that we're in fails, we're looking at a target price probably between our buy zone at 90, worst case scenario 86. 50% of the move, 50% of the time. That will still be, from an Elliott wave point of view, then just the 1, 2, and then obviously the rest still to come. So daily time frame for me, I'm going to leave it as it's no longer lateral, okay, and it is bullish, but has room for a retrace all the way back to 86. Okay, that's it. Well, now daily time frame. If you look at this from a 4-hour time frame, look at this from a 4-hour point of view. I'm going to take away this setup because I'm going to leave this buy zone there. But from a 4-hour point of view, we're about to break out and go and make another high. And as divergence pivots go, let's do it there. There's the first thou shalt not cross. Okay. Divergence, we're staying above it. Okay. So from a 4-hour point of view, 94 or 93, 500, thereabout, is where we draw the line on being bullish. Okay. So the 4-hour is bullish. 90, 93,500 thereabout is the bullish. What am I going to call this? A bullish pivot, and my sentiment, bullish sentiment support. Okay, so and sentiment support for being a bull. Okay, hope that makes sense for the guy that's going to read it. That's why there's a video. Okay. And it means that once we do go make a higher high, the 4-hour does suffer from, note, 4-hour does suffer from a lack of momentum due to all the banking holidays. Okay, sell in may go away. Typically why that is, okay. And I won't sell in May necessarily unless the charts tell me to do that. So we don't act on sentiments like that, but people go on holiday, and that's why it is like that. So 4-hour, potentially a higher high, 100K. So our current trade has 100K potential to it. Okay. Right. Now, buy zone notes, I don't have anything other than where we're at the moment. My own sentiment basically is just bullish. Bullish trading with the trend. Okay, simple as that. And from a trader point of view, also looking at getting in on some altcoins. I shared some of those setups with you guys already, and you're more than welcome to go and have a look at them. They're right here in the chart library. Okay. There. I'm live again, so now it doesn't load any of those screens. Okay. So that's the 4-hour for me. Now, if I take this over to the 15-minute where our current trade is at, one thing that you can see is that 15-minute, you're a little more zoomed in, so you can keep an eye on the momentum a little clearer. And let's snap this to the top there. Bring this through. Okay. We already had, and this is why I am optimistic, we already had a fake out, fall back in, created yet more divergence, and then moved on further. Now, you guys can see my candles are printing weird again. Apparently, it's a software issue between Google and TradingView. And yeah, I may be due for a new computer. Not that this thing is slow or anything, but I'm not running Windows 11. So that might be an issue for the future as well. So I can switch it off and switch off the graphics card acceleration, and then that will fix this. But then everything regarding StreamYard becomes horrendously slow. Okay. Now, for the 15-minute, I did put a TP in here at 94.5, which we're probably going to hit pretty soon. Look, you need to look at where your portfolio is at. If you can do with a little bit of profit, take the profit at 94. That's it, 95. Okay. If you can afford a little more risk and let this thing ride, what I will do is once we're there, I will start reducing the stop. Okay. Not quite ready to do that just yet. Okay. This thing can, US markets, this thing can do, whoop, go back there, jump again, and then run. So the one thing I don't want to do is move the stop here quickly, because that's the no-brainer move. And then everybody else that went in on this move, their stops will be somewhere there. And then once that you hit that domino effect, it runs through, everybody stops. Here, retail didn't buy. There's no stops for those trades there, and runs into that gap, consolidates, and then goes. We've seen this happen many times as well. So let this trade breathe. Okay. Looking at the profit right now, it's like, it's looking good. Maybe I should, but let the trade breathe. Okay. Let's make it a nice winner. Now, like I said, good for 100K, which means this 15-minute could see us go make a higher high. I mean, we were at 97 just the other day. Okay. Go make a higher high and potentially still push on. Think of us like this. Might creep like this for the next few days. Not there by tomorrow, next 2 days. Okay. Creep up like that. Okay. Or like that. Then go creep a little bit more and then start moving. So that's pretty much the area. So from a 15-minute point of view, risk management is going to remain the same. What I will do is I'll switch this around. I've updated this in the past already. It should be 1 to 2% now on shorts and 3 to 5% on longs. Okay. Long risk is 3% on a scalp, and short risk is now 1% on a scalp. Okay. 15-minute then in conclusion. Okay, trending. Well, I'm rather going to say it like that. We're lateral range waiting for a breakout. Oops. Typing with a mic between you and the keyboard is always hard. Waiting for a breakout. Okay, that's it. Boom. There's everything sweet and short. There you have it. I haven't seen any questions from anybody new for today regarding anything. So what I'll do is I'm going to drop this in there. Everyone, I know it's not at Market Tactics. It's kind of like a second version of today, but it gives you a good update of why I took the long. And what I will do is on this morning's Market Tactics, just drop that in there as well so that it is there, because it's basically where we're sitting. Okay, there you have it. Right, guys. Nobody's watching, I'm talking to myself. So I'm going to say good night. Nobody's joining in live. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Cheers.